Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for another beautiful Tuesday for our live stream. We're going to be doing another Q&A session today because it was so popular a couple weeks ago. We didn't even get through all the questions. And then I guess we had a lot of questions last week too that we still didn't get with, even though I thought maybe just having like the last half would be good. But no, we just have so many questions. So I wanted to kind of keep going with the Q&A format. It seems to be going good. And I figured maybe we'll do these every couple weeks while everybody's in their growing seasons and going through and planting everything out and getting harvests or encountering problems or pests, things like that. So I wanted to make sure we had plenty of these Q&As to answer all your questions. And then also, we have some super exciting news. So, for those of you who have been joining us recently, you know that we have been working really hard on our GrowBot feature of the From Seed to Spoon app. Well, let me back up a little bit. So, if you don't know the From Seed to Spoon app, make sure you download it now. Here, let me pop up the QR code. There it is. So there's a QR code right up there in the top corner. So if you don't already have our From Seed to Spoon app, make sure you download it now. It'll help walk you through growing over 100 different vegetables, fruits, herbs, and now flowers too. I've been hard at work adding a bunch of flowers into the app too. So, and if there's anything else that you guys want added in, please just let me know. Pop it in the comment section and we will be on it. I have a list going of a bunch of plants to be adding. But yeah, it'll give you exact planting dates based on your location, and as well as companion planting, pest management, logging all of the plants in your garden. And also we have GrowBot, which we have been hard at work getting updated. This is something that we have dreamed about doing for like the past 5 years. It has been super exciting. And so now GrowBot, you're going to be able to talk to GrowBot and show GrowBot images from your garden to ask about what's going on. So I am going to be showing that feature. Oh, yes, I am. It's right there. Boom. Ask and I shall get, right? Yes. So up here is our app right here. You can download it for free. There are premium features within there, but everything, including the planting dates, companion planting, pest management tips, all of that is all free. And then over here, I don't know where you're clicking next, or are you going to GrowBot?
Let's show the GrowBot stuff.
Okay, yes. So GrowBot, down here on the corner, you'll see the little GrowBot icon. So you'll notice it looks a little bit different. It's exciting. So up here, you can now add a photo and ask. So I went through right before this live stream on Facebook and screenshotted just a bunch of different questions, gardening questions that I saw, either plant identification or pest management or something's wrong with their plant. So I just screenshotted a bunch of pictures that people put up there, and I thought I could show you all just a little bit about how it works. What I love about it is that you can send like this picture of the plant that wasn't doing great, and it'll give you tips of ideas of what might be wrong, as well as tips on how to make it better, which is incredible. I am super excited, and we're going through and testing it all right now. And yeah, it's very exciting. I'm super excited to announce that this is now going to be available. So if any of you out there who are already premium users want to be testing this feature of GrowBot early and get early access, let us know. You can send us an email at info@seedtospoon.net and we will get you added and let you guys go through and test with all of the pictures you want to from your garden. It'll be really exciting. So make sure you send us an email and we will get you guys added too. Yay, I already see people saying that they'll do it. Yay! I'm excited. I've been out there, I feel like nonstop since we got it. And I've been snapping pictures of our plants, and it's already helped me out too because we have issues in our garden too. I'm like, what is going on here? Snap a picture and it tells me it's great. I love it. So anyways, yes, if anybody wants to get early access, that's a premium user, make sure you send us an email. Can we pop up the email up here too, just in case, and make sure everybody knows the spelling of it too?
Oh, it's there.
It is?
I think it's hidden behind your chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not up there. I don't see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird. It's showing for me.
Yeah, because we have questions asking about that.
Is it there?
There
now?
it is. It's there now.
Weird. Okay.
Okay. Whee! Okay. Well, there we go. So there's our email right there. If you want to have early access to that, let us know. It will let us know within the next 24 hours because we're going to be going through and adding people in tomorrow. We'll go through and do that about this time tomorrow. So make sure you send us an email at that time. Yes. So do you have to be in the premium to utilize the picture request? So yes, you will have to be having a premium subscription in order to do it because it does cost us money every time we send up one of the pictures into Growbot to get a response back. So we do have to pay for each one of those. So that is going to be something that we will put behind the subscription. Okay, great. Well, we can jump right into and see if anybody has any questions. Please feel free to leave them in the comment section. We're just going to be going through and answering a bunch of questions and just chatting all things gardening today. It's going to be a fun lunch hour. And if at the end too, we are going to be doing a giveaway for the 1 year of free premium access for our From Seed to Spoon app. So that includes the new Growbot feature. Woohoo! And also too, 1 year premium subscribers get free shipping for all of the From Seed to Spoon, or from all of their orders that they order through From Seed to Spoon. From Park Seeds. So all of your seeds and equipment, everything that you need that's in the app, you get free shipping. So that's exciting also. Okay. Do we have any questions that are coming up? Okay. Kayla says, do you have advice for what I can put on the ground of my Vigo garden bed? I have a septic system and leach field, so I want a food safe barrier between the ground and my produce. Okay, I definitely understand that. So I live in a very similar situation myself. So we have a Vigo garden too, and we have a septic system. We live on land, as you can kind of see behind us. You might see our goats walking by because that's our goat area back there. But what we do is, there's a bunch of different options that you can do. So we've done some things like having rocks. Actually, over here is what we have. We have a bunch of river rocks laid down because we have this like right next to our garden, or right next to our house, and it's right next to like outside sitting areas and all that. So we have some river rocks that are down on the ground, and then also, I'm not sure if you would want to do cardboard or not, considering it kind of depends on the source of the cardboard, I would say too. But that's something that you could consider using as well. Yeah, those would be my options. You could also do something like a weed cloth, because we've used those as well, like that black weed cloth that you do. I would just do a heavy duty one, and they have like super heavy duty ones that are available that you can get from your local tractor stores or online. We got ours online, and it's working great for us too. Okay, should I be pinching blossoms off of my pepper and tomatoes until I get them in the ground? Yes, I would definitely be doing this as well. I would be pinching off all of everything whenever it's inside. Unless it's determinate, then you don't necessarily need to. But I would be doing that, especially for the indeterminate ones, until you get them outside. Okay, once my seedlings are ready, do you put it in the ground or a 3-inch pot first? So I would say it really depends too. If outside is ready to go, like if the temperatures are great, then you can go ahead and transplant out. Like if you have like the little biodome sponges or something like that, you can transplant those directly outside. But if it's not quite ready outside, like the temperatures aren't quite right, or you want to harden them off first, but they really need up potted, you can go ahead and up pot them. You can do either way, but just make sure that they have at least 2 to 4 true leaves before you do go about disturbing and up potting or transplanting. Okay. What is the best way to start fennel from seed? Okay, so I will say pretty much every single seed that is difficult to do, I'm always going to have the same answer. The Park Seed Biodome, it makes seed starting so incredibly easy. When especially for the plants and the seeds that are a lot more difficult to start, um, it's definitely worth it. Like I start everything in there, or I try to, unless it's something that's super easy. Has a great environment. It retains the moisture really well. Everything just germinates so much better in there. So that is one of the biggest things that I could say about starting any difficult seeds. Okay, is there anything you would cover the smart pots with? Okay, I've heard of tulle, and I would really like to grow cabbage and other vegetables. I could put hard cloth under the smart pot. Okay. So, I mean, I would personally, so I'm not sure if you're talking about with tools, so like insect netting. I'm not sure if you're thinking along those lines. So, if you're thinking about covering things like that, that could help with insects as well. I mean, we make our own little like DIY like hoop houses that go over the moving me. No, I'm okay. Sorry, he was moving me, adjusting. Um, we make our own little PVC dome hoop houses that we put over. We've made them and put them over side of the like round raised bed smart pots, like those really large ones, and we put that over top of those. We've covered with, I mean, a number of things, but yes, definitely tulle would work. I definitely would say any of that. You could also put some mulch inside of your smart pots too to help protect that soil that's on top too, and that'll help to provide an extra layer with like moisture prevention, and it'll help with pests too, things like slugs, snails, things like that that will be coming from the ground. Okay, App says eggplant needs a lot of water. Is that giving them a good soak every day, or is that too much? Well, that definitely will depend on your weather. So if it is like 100 degrees and super hot and sunny outside, then yeah, it might be every day. But it really is going to depend on the conditions. But what I always do, I say it's a good rule of thumb. Take your finger, stick it into the soil. If it is dry all the way down to your knuckle, then it needs water. If you feel moisture, then you're good to let it go. It's really good to do that because you don't want to overwater. First of all, because it's harmful for the plant, but it could also make the roots not expand really great. And you want the roots to be, growing down and reaching for the for water throughout the soil and nutrients and all of that. Okay. Does fennel require dark or not? Okay. Can we pull up Growbot for this one? Because that's something that I actually do not know if fennel requires to be. Yep, there you go. Okay. Growbot says, yes, fennel seeds require light to germinate. Okay, so plant them in a sunny spot in your garden. Thank you, Growbot, for your assistance. You see, I have a lovely assistant today. Thank you, Growbot. Yes, so that is what Robot says. That yeah, I did not know that because I've only done it like once or twice myself. So that's exciting. Okay. What herbs are good for cats and dogs? Ooh, I love this question. That's fun. So these ones, I mean, pretty much every herb I feel like does really well. We actually would go about making our own dog food a lot, and we would put in fresh things from the garden all of the time. All of the time. Yeah, sorry, I cracked myself up. Sorry. But yes, thyme is a good herb for that. Oregano is also really good. Things like parsley, um, basil. Oh, there. Hey, thank you. Look at that, Grobot. Grobot's chiming in again. Um, Catnip is another really fun one as well for cats because they will just devour it. They love it. We had a catnip plant that was in front of our house for a while, and the cats just destroyed it. Like it was completely gone. Like I was like, I'm sorry, I will plant you more. They just love it. Okay. Can you plant eggplants and zucchini plants together? And how much to? Okay, so I will say probably how much space. So you will need definitely space because zucchini, I'm sure if you've grown zucchini before, you know how large it can get. So definitely give it like a few feet apart at least because eggplant does need full sun and you don't want that zucchini plant to be shading it out at all. So I would definitely give it a couple feet spaced out apart and make sure that that eggplant gets plenty of sun and isn't shaded out too much from the zucchini. Do all marigolds repel bugs the same way? Okay, so that's a great question. So are you might be talking about differences between like the French marigolds and the I don't even know what
African.
the African marigolds. Yes, thank you. You see, I have another helper right here too.
Hi.
Everybody say hi to Dale. I have him in the chat. Oh, and we have Susan helping today too in the chat. So everybody say hi, Susan. Anyways, yes, so marigolds. Yes, marigolds are amazing. They help with pests from above and also with roots. They excrete, I can never remember what it is, but they do excrete something in their roots that helps with root nematode, like the bad nematodes down in the ground, in the soil. So it is definitely beneficial for the soil. It's beneficial for repelling pests up above. It is probably one of my favorite companion plant flowers. I love them. I definitely recommend growing them. Okay. Oh, well, thank you very much. Growbot. Growbot is popping up their response here. Okay. One potential reason for yellowing could be overwatering. So make sure you check your moisture levels. Thank you, Growbot. Another possibility could be lack of nutrients. So yes, probably with nutrients wise, I'd say maybe like a nitrogen or something along those lines. But those would be my two options too. Thank you, Growbot. Okay, can I grow pumpkins in a 5-gallon smart pot? I mean, sure, you definitely can. It'll definitely be better the larger you go because you have more space for moisture retention and it's just less room for air. So, especially for me, I sometimes am not the best waterer, especially in the heat of the summer. I get distracted and I get hot. And if you have a larger smart pot, they're just going to do a lot better. Their roots are going to grow a lot larger. You're going to get a lot larger pumpkins. So I would recommend using a bigger one, but not to say that you can't. I mean, you definitely can for sure. Okay. Is there a way in the app to sort it for indoor plant starting and outdoor? Okay. Filter to plant now. Just wondering if it could be split between indoor and outdoor. Okay, yes. So up here, thank you, lovely assistant Dale, for pulling this up. So this is the app up here, and this is under My Garden section. So over here in the tasks, up at the top, you'll see that task, and you'll go down. You can see where it says Start Indoors Now. And then there's also a plant outside now. So there's different options there. So there's also a time to plant soon. So it'll be those as well. But these ones right here, I do want to make sure that I mention that these ones right here in the task view are going off of your favorites. So any of your plants that you've gone through and starred while you whether it's ones that you want to grow or ones that are your favorite, if you go through and star them in the growing guide section where there's that big list of plants, you can have all of them pop up here. You can also, here where it says manage favorites, you can click that too and go through and add more plants into your favorites as well. So yeah, and this isn't our app this isn't our phone, so it's not set up for our location or anything like that. So this isn't really accurate for our location now. So if you are anywhere around us, just know that that's not accurate right there. But that will be pulling from your location that you're at and all of the plants that you have favorited. Okay, my seedlings are turning yellow. Anything I should do? So it's probably going to be, again, very similar to that last question that we had, either from overwatering or some nutrient deficiency. So I would just be aware with how much water or moisture that are in there, that's in there, and make sure that it's not being washing out all the nutrients, being too waterlogged. And then I would, again, fix the watering issue if there is one, and then fertilize if that doesn't fix it. Okay, how long does it take to harden off plants? This is a great question. So it is really important. So first of all, if you don't know what hardening off plants means, this is when you go about the process of taking your seedling that has been in your protective, comfortable environment inside and trying to get them outside and planting them outside. So instead of just putting them directly outside and saying, see you later, you want to kind of ease them into that transition and make sure that they're going to thrive in their environment. So over the process of about a week to 2 weeks, you're going to be going through and slowly increasing the amount of sun exposure that they get and wind exposure, all of that. So you kind of want to just gradually expose them to the environments that they're going to be and just get them used to the environment. So that way they aren't as shocked whenever you go out and transplant them. So it usually does take about 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. What are some companion plants that you would recommend for corn to help with pests? So whenever I think of companion planting with corn, I do always think of the Three Sisters gardening method, but here is our full list of companion plants too. So under each plant, you'll see where it has the companions tab right there. So you just hit that and it'll take you directly to that spot. So these are all plants that you can grow with corn. And if you scroll down, like you'll see all of these, but typically for pest management, typically those ones are going to be things that have like strong scents. So I always say like things like herbs are great. Any sort of flowers can help to bring in beneficials that help with certain pests as well. So those are some of the things that I would say. Okay, are Roma tomato plants different in color compared to others? Um, I mean, they look pretty similar to the others. I mean, they are a beautiful red color. I love them. They are probably they're one of our favorite tomatoes. They are just one that always does really great for us. They are perfect for salsa, for any sort of sauce, all of that. Like they're one of my favorites. I absolutely love them. Okay. We have cilantro pulled up. Oh, that'd be why. I was like, I'm not sure why cilantro is pulled up. Okay. The last state I have to sow cilantro seeds. I'm in zone 8A. Okay. So thank you. Here is so in the app, it'll give you exact planting dates based on your location. So it doesn't go just by your zone, it'll go by your closest weather station, and it'll calculate the probability of your last frost dates. Like it takes into account a lot of things. Like it's a lot of math. It's amazing that I don't have to do that math anymore. So you'll just go in, pull up cilantro in the app, and it will give you exact planting dates. So it'll give you the time frame that is recommended for planting right there. Ooh, yay, congrats. We have a winner from one of the previous weeks, a 20-gallon smart pot that they won. That's exciting. What can I plant in it? How much can I pack in? Awesome. So, some of my favorite things to grow in a 20-gallon smart pot would be potatoes. I absolutely love growing potatoes, especially in a 20-gallon. That's like the perfect size for potatoes. You can plant in like 4 or 5 root potatoes in there, and they will grow amazing. And then whenever they're ready, you just simply dump out the soil and harvest it out. It's great. That's probably the easiest way to grow potatoes. So any sort of potatoes, sweet potatoes, those would do great. Any sort of, we've done tomatoes grow really well in there, and it's big enough if you do a tomato in there that you can put like a marigold and a basil in there as well for kind of like a little companion, little mini garden. So a 20-gallon would definitely be great. You can also do, I mean, somebody was asking about pumpkins in a 5-gallon. A 20-gallon, I would say, would be a little bit better option for a pumpkin, or for a zucchini plant. This would be a great option too. Yeah, lots of things. I mean, really, the possibilities are endless. I love it. Okay. Ooh, great question. What would be the top 5 recommended herbs for medicinal uses to start in the garden? Ooh, well, you know what? If Laura were here, I know she would be all over oregano. She loves oregano and always says that when it's great. Um, oh, that's a good idea. Pulling up the themes. Um, so we do have this garden theme section, and there is a medicinal herbs section in there. So it'll have a bunch of different ones in there. So of these ones, though, I would say oh, yeah, sage. I would go with sage, and oregano would be another really good one. And this is a difficult question because I don't know.
Basil.
Yeah, oh, garlic for sure. Yeah, garlic, basil. Really, you can't go wrong with any of the herbs. I feel like, because they're all just packed with nutrients and they're so healthy for you. So all of the herbs will be amazing to add. But yes, definitely those ones that I named off would be great ones to add into your garden. Okay, when do you guys start your pumpkins? So we generally start ours 2 weeks after our last frost date, just to kind of let the soil warm up a little bit. So really, it's going to be anytime for us here. We're in zone 7, so we are going to be planting them out. We actually were talking about it earlier yesterday. Actually, we were doing planting out in the garden, talking about what we were doing this week, and that was something that we brought up was starting some squashes and pumpkins, zucchinis, like all of that, and beans, all of our warm season things that we haven't started yet. Okay, do you need to add pebbles and put holes in a grow bag? So no, actually, if it's a smart pot, that is the beauty of smart pots. They are amazing at drainage. So you can't really overwater them because they won't let you. It's great. Now I will say, if you get an off brand of a grow bag, you won't always get that great of quality. So I would definitely recommend that if you're concerned about that, go with a smart pot because they have tested everything. It is made here in the United States. It's actually made here in Oklahoma City, so it's awesome, and that's where we are. And we actually just visited them recently, and it was really fun. We got to go through and see how everything was made, and we'll be posting a video all about that here soon. So be looking for that. But yeah, you don't need to do all that with smart pots because they're porous and they'll let the water flow right through them. Okay, so Dawn says, when I add a custom plant, is it visible only to me or can all Seed to Spoon users see it? So it's only visible to you unless somebody else has your login. So if you share like a login with somebody else, so like I share one with Dale and I have the same login. It's because obviously we have the same garden. So we use the same login for ours. So whenever I add in a custom plant, it's visible to him as well, but only because we are both logged in. So nobody else will be able to see your plant. That's only yours. Okay, if I don't find a specific variety in the app, should I choose the most familiar? So you can actually, whenever you are logging your plants that you're starting in the app, you can just go in and type in exactly which one you're doing. So say so we have acorn squash. So you can just type, there we go, look at this. Ooh, my fancy new squash. I like it. You can do that, or if you're under the choose button and you don't see it, there's another spot up top where it says my fancy new squash. You can just type it in right there. So I would just go through and put it right there. Makes it easier that way. You can remember what you actually did plant. Okay, do those dollar store oils actually work? The flower pots sealed together. Are those like the ones that we have?
Just like ceramic things you put in the ground and then you fill it with water and it leaches out.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Those ones will work for sure. Yeah. Ooh, sage has started flowering. I love sage when it flowers. It's so beautiful and smells incredible. Is at the end of its life. They were planted last year in October. So no, sage is actually a perennial and it will be coming back. So when it's flowering, that just will mean that it's doing well. You might want to pinch off some of the flowers too to promote new growth. So it's not exactly like bolting like you've heard of with like greens and things like that. Yeah, so you won't. It's not going to be dying on you. You're all good. Okay, what herbs best for helping with active cough from allergies? Ooh, so oregano, right? That's what we're gonna go with. Oh, you're pulling up Growbot? I like it. Let's see. Thyme, sage, and peppermint. Ooh, yes, mint would be really good because that's what a lot of teas are made of. That help with like colds and things like that. So for sure, yeah, that one would be a really good option. I like that. Okay, last year my nasturtiums just grew long stems and never flowered. What did I do wrong? So if it was long stems, I'm guessing it probably didn't have enough sun and it was probably stretching, trying to get enough sun. That would be my guess. I mean, so far ours are doing really well here, but we have them in a full sun area where they're getting plenty of nutrients. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be my favorite reason why. Okay, can you recommend a homegrown mixture to start seedlings and the mixture ratio? So how we start our seedlings is, well, two different ways. We use. Oop, sorry, Siri would just randomly started talking. Um, so, well, this is our mixture for outside that we use. But if we're talking indoors, that's kind of how I took the question.
Okay.
Was indoors. I thought. Clarify if I'm wrong. But indoors, we do a espoma seed starting mix, which is, I mean, you can get that. It's an all organic mixture for soil. For seed starting indoors, it works amazing. You can also grow in like a mixture of coconut coir mixed with vermiculite too. Those will work really well. I mean, pretty much we use Mel's Mix Outside, which is what Dale had posted up right there. So pretty much anything inside, we use that for inside except minus the compost. We don't have the compost inside. But you can use worm castings inside if you are wanting to do some sort of compost and help your plants out. Okay, what can I do about aphids besides DE? So, diatomaceous earth will help, but honestly, aphids, you really want to try to encourage as many ladybugs as possible. So, that is my first recommendation. So, do everything you can to encourage those ladybugs to stay there, and they will help out, and they'll handle the issue. But really, if you see a problem, just take a hose and spray them off. You can just spray the undersides of the leaves, knock them down, and you might have to do that a few times in a row just to make sure that you get rid of it. But that should solve your problem too. Oh, sorry, I was waiting on a question. So, um, it was pulling up Growbot again. So I do want to show you guys too. So I actually had an aphid issue too. I should have sent you that photo to upload because we did have an aphid issue, and I put it in here, and it correctly identified and told me exactly what to do with my aphid problem that I had. It was great, and so it'll identify pests as well, which is very exciting. So again, if you guys don't have the From Seed to Spoon app, make sure you download it and check this out. But if you are already a premium user and you guys want to check this out early, make sure you send us an email and we'll get you guys added in. Somewhere between the next 24 hours, we will be adding in people. So I guess Wednesday is tomorrow, May 1st. I think tomorrow's May 1st. So around this time, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay. How do you attract ladybugs? Okay, so a few different things. Make sure that you have plenty of shallow dishes of water to keep them around. And then there's going to be certain plants too that will help to attract them. So again, I always say I love marigolds, dill, fennel, um, cilantro, even flower. Like a lot of flowers will help to attract them. But a lot of times too, if that you have an aphid problem, like they're going to find you. So yeah, just make sure you have some water so that way they don't have to go away after they eat, and make sure that they stay there. Okay, do we just sprinkle the diatomaceous earth on the dirt around the plants, or should we apply it to the affected leaves? So I'm guessing this is for the aphid issues. Um, I mean, honestly, like you wouldn't even necessarily need to use a lot of diatomaceous earth for an aphid problem unless it's like a super really 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 bad aphid issue. I wouldn't use it honestly. I would just be sticking with the spraying of the leaves and knocking them to the ground. You can use like an insecticidal like organic sprays those ones will use, or like soapy water, things like that. And I wouldn't be sprinkling diatomaceous earth on plants themselves too, because it can harm beneficials as well. So you want to be really careful with using diatomaceous earth. And usually I would just put it at the base of the plant for helping with other issues, not necessarily really aphids. It's pretty rare if we have to use anything for aphids ourselves. Okay, when planting the biodome sponges, do we plant as deep as the sponges, tall, or deeper? Okay, so a great thing about these biodome sponges is that there's already a hole in there, and you can just simply drop the seed right there in the hole. If it is a super tiny seed, you can just set it just right there on the top of the sponge, and that will work as well. But that's the great thing. Like, they're super easy to use. You can really just drop it into the hole. You don't really have to do much at all. Okay, any plants that I can have around the garden that will help keep away rabbits and squirrels? Okay, so we've been battling things. We've been battling squirrels ourselves. Not rabbits yet, thankfully, and I'm going to knock on wood when I say that. But squirrels have been an issue for us so far this year. Um, so some things that they wouldn't necessarily like would be marigolds again, and then lavender, garlic too. Garlic's always a really good repellent for a lot of things. But my favorite way to go about repelling any sort of creatures like this is having a motion activated sprinkler and setting it like right there where you're having a problem. And whenever motion goes by, now it's also including you. So when you walk by, it's going to start spraying too. But you just want to make sure that you have it set up to go off when you're not there, and then it will just spray erratically, and it will scare away your rabbits and squirrels, and it'll make them go away. I mean, other things you can do is things like blood meal, and you can pee in your garden as well too. I mean, as gross as it sounds, it will help to repel them. So you do what you can, right? Yeah, let me clarify, around the garden. Yeah, don't go peeing in your garden, just like at the entrance of it. Thank you. Dale wanted me to clarify. Okay. If we knock them off, will they survive and come back to the plant, or will that kill them? Okay, so I think we're going back to aphids again. Yeah, so it won't kill them, but they won't be able to come back up to the plant. New ones will probably come up there. Um, so you just want to make sure that you just keep up with it for a few times, you know, for several days in a row. I would go out and do that just to make sure that there's no new aphids that are up there. But yeah, knocking them down they won't be able to get back up. Should I worry about aphids getting into an inside grow tent? Yeah, so we actually so the aphid issue that I talked about that we had was actually inside of our garage. We had aphids that got inside of our garage somehow. I mean, just the time, I guess, that our garage opened and shut or something like that, like we managed to get some aphids in, and then they just decided to take over. So that's something right there that I mean, you're definitely always going to have to be on the lookout for, and no matter how careful you are, it's just something you got to watch out for. And if you see the issue again, they're pretty easy. Just simply spray off. We just have like a little sprayer that I just sprayed the underside of the leaves, sprayed the top, and knocked them down. Okay, I've noticed a lot of organic fertilizers and soils have fish. So fish fertilizers, yes. Are these safe for use in vegetable gardens for people who can't eat seafood? Ooh. Wow, well, that's an interesting question. Do we know, or does Growbot know? That's interesting. I use fish fertilizer all the time, but I don't have any sensitivity to fish at all. I would imagine like if you are applying that, make sure you use gloves for sure because you don't want it soaking into your skin. I'm not sure how much of it. Does Growbot have any ideas?
Robot's being safe, I think.
Growbot's being safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I don't know. Have you heard of that?
No, interesting question.
Yeah, that definitely is. I'm sorry. I really wish I had a better answer for you. I don't have a 100%.
Those other organic fertilizers like blood meal and bone meal.
Yeah, blood meal and bone meal. I don't know how well you can hear Dale. Blood meal and bone meal, yeah, are both options that you could do that don't have fish fertilizer in it. So maybe check out some of those options. I do say it's probably better to be safe than sorry, like Growbot was. But again, like it depends on your sensitivity too. Like if you are super sensitive to it, I wouldn't chance it. Okay, are all marigolds edible? And can I plant them right next to my produce in the same bed? Okay, yes. So marigolds, yes, you can eat them. It's amazing. And yes, plant them right there next to your plants. So they do really well. I plant them right next to my tomatoes, right next to my peppers. They do terrific, and they actually help the soil. They excrete chemicals to help get rid of the bad nematodes in the soil. Marigolds are amazing. So no, you don't have to worry about marigolds hurting any of your plants or anything like that. What insect carries aphid larvae? So probably talking about ants here. So ants they do like to take the aphids and like almost like farm them. So ants can be helping out your aphids to survive sometimes. So yeah, I think you're thinking of ants here. Okay, what about keeping rats out? So I would say mint is a really good one to be repelling a lot of those, a lot of like rats and mice, things like that. So I with our old garden that we had mint planted like all through the begin like the entrance of our garden, and I think it helped. It really seemed to. And then we also have a couple cats. Also, they will definitely help with that issue if you have any rat or mice issue. And then again, too, we have rats and voles and all of that in the app. So there's a lot of different suggestions and things like that within the app as well. Okay, it sounds like we are doing the giveaway now. Ooh, let's see. So I don't know who won either. So let's see who we have to be the winner of the 1 year premium free from seed to spoon. Congratulations, Joe. Joe is our winner. So email us at info@seedtospoon.net and you will get a free 1 year of premium from seed to spoon access. I'm super excited for you. Congratulations, Joe. So Joe, also, if you want to have access to that new Growbot feature too, let us know and we will get you added for that as well. And if anybody else is out there too that already has premium access, make sure you let us know and send us an email also. And we will get you set up for getting the early access to this new Growbot feature of sending photos to pest identification, plant identification, or what's wrong with my plant. Super helpful. It's been amazing so far. I can't wait for you guys all to try it and hear your feedback. So make sure that you all send us an email and we will get you set up so you can start using it. Oh, and also, so with this new update, we're going to have new buttons up here at the top of the dashboard. So there's going to be a identify plant, a plant help button, and an identify bug button as well. So you can pull it from photos that you've already taken. You can pull it from your camera and take a picture right there in real time. Yeah, all of that works. It'll do it all. Yeah, it's super exciting, and it'll yeah, it not only will tell you like what it thinks is wrong, but also how to help it, which was my favorite. Okay, so we have a few more minutes of questions. I want to try and get as many questions answered as possible. In this last little bit of time, we will go through and answer as many as we can. Okay, fungus gnats in the seed starting area. Oh, I know. They are no fun at all. Okay, so it sounds like you already have yellow traps, which is great. Um, so I will recommend, if you don't already have a fan, make sure you put a fan in, because until we put a fan in, I feel like they just kept coming. There was no getting rid of them. So definitely put a fan in that's blowing right there on that issue. It'll not only help with the fungus gnats, but it'll help like to start to harden your plants off a little bit too. It'll help reduce your risk of mold and things like that. So it'll make for stronger plants and get rid of those fungus gnats too. Okay, I'm having a hard time getting my rosemary seeds to germinate. Am I better off to buy plants? So, yeah, rosemary seeds can definitely be challenging. And it is one of those that we struggled with for a very long time until we started growing them in the biodome. So, again, any difficult to start seeds, I always recommend the biodome just because it's so foolproof to have seeds in the biodome. It just goes so well. But if you want, and they are pretty slow growing as well. So if you want a more established plant, you might want to buy a plant. Rosemary is also great propagated. So if you have a friend or a family member or a neighbor that has a rosemary plant already, try to take cuttings and propagate. And it does really well propagating as well. Do you ever start your marigolds straight in the bed? Yeah, for sure. We do it all always. So we have some that we started indoors that we transplant out there so we can have a head start on them. We also sometimes will just go through and direct seed them. You can do either way. It works terrific both ways. Marigold's not super difficult to start. Okay, when planting the biodome sponges, do we... Oh, I think we already had this one, didn't we? Yeah. Unless it's a very similar question.
Whoops.
Does basil take a long time to go? No, basil is actually one of the faster growing herbs. I am a huge fan of basil, especially the cinnamon basil. It is so good. But there's so many different varieties of basil, and it grows so fast and easy. Basil is probably one of the easiest herbs to grow. Okay, how many sweet baby mini watermelons can I plant in a 30-gallon fabric container? I would probably stick to two. You'll probably want to put like one on each side and then have them kind of trail off in opposite directions. You just don't want them competing too much and have them overlapping or anything like that. But I would say you could probably do two, one on each side if you wanted to grow multiples. Okay, can the Smart Pot tolerate peppermint oil? Wondering if I can spray the outside of that to deter deer, mice, and squirrels. So I would imagine that it would be fine. I've never tried this myself, but we have Smart Pots here in the chat. Maybe Smart Pots can help us out with the response for this one and double check. But I don't see why not. I think that our Smart Pots have been so durable and has stood up to so much in the last 10 years that we have grown with them. They've done amazing. So I'm almost positive that peppermint oil would be just fine. Oh, and yes, thank you, Smart Pots. They did say yes. But remember that it will leach into the soil too. Thank you, Smart Pot Jeff. Okay. So compost. If you see mealworms and flies, should you throw it out or can you use it for only flowers and not vegetables? Um, I mean, I would say that I would just give it a little bit more time and see how it does. It's probably just not ready yet. Whenever it is ready, it'll turn like black, and you won't see any more food scraps or anything like that. So it's probably just not ready at that point. Okay, zone 10, and I'm getting black ladybug on my beans. Ooh, is that can we pull up Growbot for this one too?
I think we need to see a picture of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We might need to see a picture on this one to send to Growbot to have that. So hey, send us an email at info@seedtospoon.net and send us a picture. And if you don't already have if you don't have premium access to Ask Growbot, we'll get it figured out. When do blueberries start to wake up in zone 7A? I mean, yeah, they should be doing it about now. Because we live here in zone 7 as well, and I do feel like a lot of our berry bushes and all of that have already started to green up and start to get ready for the spring. So they should have hopefully already have done it for you already. Hopefully they will be back. Okay. Well, I think that was it. Again, if we didn't get to your guys' question, make sure that you check out Growbot for any of your additional questions that you may have. And again, if you guys are a premium user, make sure you email us at info@seedtospoon.net and we will get you guys added in to get early testing of the photo stuff. So super exciting. And for others of you, it should hopefully be coming very soon. We're looking at releasing this probably next week. If all goes well, fingers crossed, we're very excited about it. So hopefully this will be out next week. But if you do want to have early access and you have premium already, make sure you send us an email and we'll get you set up. Thank you all so much for joining today. It was a fun Q&A session, and we'll be back again next week, same time, same place. And I don't know what we're talking about next week, but I'll look it up and we'll see you next week. More gardening fun. And in the meantime, make sure you guys, if you aren't already following us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those places, we're everywhere. Make sure that you join us there. And we post pretty much daily updates of what's going on in our garden and all of that. So make sure that you check us out and follow us there. And we will hopefully see you again next week. Same time, same place.